because if you look at the Democrats as a whole, like look at the whole history, I don't think they have, and this is my viewpoint. Now, I'm not saying that your viewpoint is wrong. I'm just saying I disagree to an extent because of my viewpoint, and I'm going to say why. Okay? Looking at the entire history, because before I chose where I'm going with my politics and voting and everything, I did my research on independents, Democrats, and Republicans. I did my research. And when America first started, it used to be the Whig Party versus the Democrat-Republican Party. Okay, so we used to be all one. Fast forward in some time and, we're discussing freeing the slaves. The Democrat side of the aisle was like, I don't want to free the slaves. If we free the slaves, who's going to pick our cotton? Who's going to, do this and do that? And the Republicans are like, we'll figure it out. We need to free the slaves. Not because it's wrong, and also economically, it's just putting us in a bad spot, which is true. Slavery puts you in a bad spot economically after a while. Only certain people were making money. So not only was it just bad as in humanity, economically it just didn't make it. It wasn't good. So, they were like, we need to free the slaves. So they ended up splitting into the Democratic Party and then the Republican Party because of this issue. Now, that's where Civil War happened. And then you had the KKK come up out the Democrat Party once the slaves were free. Then you have to go down the line a little further. You look at Jim Crow, that's segregated, and it was bad for, put black people in bad positions. We couldn't go into certain places. We didn't have access to certain things, and, segregation happened. We got treated as a lesser citizen. Okay? All that came out of Lyndon B. Johnson, the Democratic Party. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that happened in between, go down to the welfare system and everything that comes out. And they say you can't get no help if the man is in the house. So what do? All the black men, you gotta go. And that was when, said the rise of the single mom household came to be. Because we went from having about 20% single moms to now we have over close to 80% single moms. I think it's around 75 to 80% single moms now, due to, certain factors, usually, and black fathers being out of the home, the welfare system, women, because I've heard women myself, I'm not getting married because I ain't trying to give up my benefits. And I'm like, but you would have a 2-income household, which would balance out whatever you're getting from welfare. But I digress. Moving on. You got the crime bill that came out that put a lot of black people in prison. Democrat. I mean, if you go down the line throughout history, I'm trying to see where they were for us. I'm trying to see this part where they were for us. And it was like, well, they got rid of segregation. They put